Whoa. So, somebody told me that you care what other people think of you. And that's completely fine. That's natural, but it's ruining your life. You see, as long as you think of what other people think of you, you don't own your life. And the key to stop caring what other people think of you is to become unbothered. Okay, let's get rid of this stuff and get to the point. Maybe you want to start posting to social media as a content creator or a specialist, but you're not doing it because you're afraid of what other people will think of you. Maybe you're a fashionista and you have the most amazing style, but you still go for the more basic option because you don't want to stand out in a crowd. Or maybe you're a born entrepreneur and you have so many business ideas, but you never fulfill them because you're so afraid that other people will laugh at your enthusiasm, so you just rather than do it. Or maybe you have super interesting mind, but you never speak out loud because you're afraid that no one will pay attention to what you just said, or worse, they will laugh straight at your face. Or maybe you just really want to get in shape and go to the gym, but you never go there because you're afraid that other people will pay attention how you're not professionally using the machines, or you don't even know how to use them, so you're afraid that other people will laugh at you. Or maybe you want to go to movies to see the latest movie, but you never go because you never manage to match your schedules with your friends, so you rather just don't go because you're afraid to go there alone, because what will other people think of you being there alone in the movies? Like, who goes to the movies alone? Come on, no one. Or maybe you really want a new photo shoot, but what stops you is the staring looks of other people on the streets. Whichever of these scenarios resonated with you the most, they have one thing in common: giving power away over your own life to other people, which ultimately results into you not being yourself and not living your own life, and perhaps never reaching your fullest potential. But we don't want that. We want to be the best versions of ourselves and live our best life ever, right? So here's how we become unbothered. First, I'm just quickly going to cover a bit of psychology, because once you understand this, we just kickstart the process of not giving a fuck. So this thing that we care so much what other people think of us is a survival mechanism from many years ago. We humans are social animals and we used to live in packs before, unlike today where we live in a very individualistic society. So this thing that we care so much of what other people think of us comes down to the need to be loved, accepted, and feel connected to other people, to other members of the pack. If you will differ too much from the pack, chances are that you will be kicked out. And during those times, that would have equaled death, because survival alone during those times could have been a little bit challenging. However, in today's world, loneliness is no longer a threat to survival, and caring too much of other people's opinions might hinder your development towards the best version of you. But since this behavioral pattern is so deeply rooted into us, how do we stop it? Well, it all starts from here. Mindset shift. You need a mindset shift. And that's why the rest of this video I'm going to brainwash you. So be prepared for this brainwashing session. It all starts with understanding that you have one life. There is no scientific proof that you will have another one. So you've got only one life, and you would let other people to dictate you how to live it. You would let other people's opinions in and not live your own life the way you want to live it. That's no way to do it. I'm starting this quite rough now, but the reality is that we are all going to die someday. That is a fact. That's proven scientific fact that we are going to die. We all are going to die someday. And at the same time, most of us live our lives in the ignorance of that fact that we're gonna die someday. Like, most of us just live our lives that, okay, I'm going to live forever. But let me enlighten you, you're not gonna live forever. Your life will end someday, and the thing is that you don't know when it ends. So isn't it like the least what you can do for yourself is to live your life as it will be the last every day? Well, almost every day. It's those moments when people get really sick, like really sick, seriously sick. And then is the moment when they're thinking, oh my God, what have I done with my life? I've wasted all my life thinking of what other people would think of me. And that moment it's kind of late already. So when you acknowledge this fact, I think it's easier to care at least a little bit less. And then the nice thing that comes with this also is that since we're going to die, no one's gonna remember us. And since the end goal is death, do these little opinions really matter? And then other thing that might help you to get rid of this fear of others' opinions is that no one who is worth of your thinking capacity will remember you in 5 years. And now let's imagine a scenario where you did something super cringe, people laughed at you, people had opinions about you, la 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 la, and you did that, and now you're suffering from all of this pain inside of you. These people will not remember you already in 2 weeks. In 2 weeks, no one's gonna remember anymore what happened, and most of the people will forget about you in 2 years for sure. And then there's also this other scenario to this scenario. What if you become successful? Do you think anyone's gonna have opinions about you at that point? I don't think so, and if they will, then they really don't matter. Because no one who's doing better than you is gonna judge you, because they simply don't have the time or even energy for it, because they're too focused on their own life. So then the question is, why would you care of someone's opinion who seems to have time to have opinion about you? Because no one who's busy enough with their own life has the time. And since this person seems to not be busy with their own life, it means that their own life is gonna suck. So does this person really matter then? I personally will take advice or listen to someone's opinion only if they're doing better than me. And then something else that also really helps me to remain unbothered is this fact. No single person who's truly satisfied with their own life and is truly happy with themselves and with their life will judge you. Again, they are so satisfied with their own life, so they have no need to spit out all of that negativity because they are zen inside. And these people who then have the time to poison the air with their negative energy and opinions and all of that stuff, I like to think of these people like these little Agent Smiths from the movie The Matrix, who are trying to control everything, and they have their strict limiting views on things, and they want that everyone else lives by those rules as well. And then something that also really helps is to become sort of numb to the feeling of fear. So become comfortable with being uncomfortable. Throw yourself into uncomfortable situations, and after time it gets easier. Because when you're like thinking of doing something, you really want to do something, and then you don't because you're afraid of what other people might think of you. But then when you start really digging deeper of that feeling, where does it come from? The core feeling where it comes from is fear. The fear that our self-esteem will get a hit. But very often, fear is over-exaggerating like everything. What if instead of giving in to that feeling of fear, you will just go for it? You will just say to yourself, okay, this, what I'm about to do, is completely normal. There is nothing weird in it, and I'm just gonna do it. The emotional load towards that thing will be already different. And I think Tom Carr talks a lot about this, is that it is not cringe unless you think it's cringe. So usually things that we are afraid that other people will have an opinion about is because we think that, not because it's a fact. It's not a fact that someone else will have an opinion about what you're doing. Most of the stuff that we think other people will have an opinion about is because we think so. It's not a fact that someone will laugh at you if you post that photo. It's not a fact that someone will have an opinion about you if you decide to become an entrepreneur. It's not a fact that someone will look weird at you if you're gonna take photos outside. It's not a fact that someone will care if you go to the gym and you don't know how to use the gym machines. Most likely people will help you and show you how to use it. And when you're taking pics outside and someone looks weird at you, well, look back. No, but there's this one thing that also probably could help you to stop giving a is that, let's imagine you are taking pictures outside and someone looks at you weird. It doesn't mean that you are weird. It means that the thing that you are doing is weird to them. It's weird to their view on life, but it doesn't mean you as a person are weird. It is just weird to their system and how they are used to live life and how do they see life. And most likely the reason why someone would ever look at you weird at the streets if you're taking photos is because they would really want to do it themselves, but they can't because they consider it super shameful. Or another scenario is that that person is just super rotten person from inside, which, why would you even care? As I said, it's this little Agent Smiths. And if someone is looking at you weird on the streets because it's weird to them, to their value system, it's because it's weird to them, and that's okay, because we're all super different people. I bet you have also looked weird at people sometimes, for sure. But if you think back to yourself, do you even think of that person anymore when that happened? Do you every day go to sleep and think of that person, that, oh my god, that person was doing that thing on the streets? Ugh, what a person. I don't think you think of that. So exactly that applies to you as well. If someone is gonna look at you weird, okay, fine, but will they really think of you every day before they go to sleep? I think no, unless they really fell in love with you. And to come back to this, becoming comfortable with feeling uncomfortable and throwing yourself into uncomfortable situations, at first it's super hard because your brain will come up with every possible reason to not do it. But if you just overcome that inner battle and you just decide to do it, once you throw yourself into that situation, it becomes easier and easier in the future. And at some point you really become like numb to that feeling, and you might even fall in love with this, because once you really become comfortable with being uncomfortable, it becomes so much fun because there's so much growth happening in those situations, and you learn so much new about yourself and you level up yourself as well. So it's actually become super fun. I still have few things to share with you in this brainwashing session, but before I continue, I would like to ask you to give this video a thumbs up if you have gotten value out of this video, because if you do that, the YouTube algorithm will see that, okay, people like this video, and it will push it further than to people who might find this video also valuable. So then we help everyone. And then other thing that I would want to ask you to do is that if you feel like you really resonate with my content and you really find it valuable, I would like to ask you to consider subscribing to my channel, because that will also help the algorithm to notice that, okay, people really find the videos valuable, so let's push them to more people who might also find them valuable. Thank you so much. Okay, now we continue. If some person has the time to watch at what you're doing and have an opinion about it, they really must not have any content in their own life, which is the type of person whose opinions you really should not let in. Because these type of people usually do not proceed further in their life. They stagnate. They get stuck at a certain level in their life. For example, I barely have the time to keep up with what my best friends are doing, and then there is someone who has the time to keep up with someone completely random person. Wow, really wasting your time on worrying of other people's opinions ultimately takes away from you your own life. When you understand that you don't own your life as long as you care what other people think of you, when you understand this, the shift starts to happen. The moment when you start caring what other people think of you, you're giving power over your own life to these people, which ultimately limits you from reaching your fullest potential and living your best life. Who knows what kind of a superstar is hidden behind all of that worry? And of course, I cannot ignore the fact that confidence plays a big role in whether you care of other people's opinions. And in fact, it's probably the biggest factor in remaining unbothered. Tips on how to gain unshakable confidence I'm sharing in this video, which you can watch next. And thank you so much for watching this video, and I see you in the next one. Bye bye.